Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
Welcome, welcome.
We got another video here from Corridor Crew. It's called Stuntmen React to Bad and Great Hollywood Stunts number 17. And this time, they've got a good friend of mine, Toney, who I have grown up with. This is a man I have flipped with time and time and time again at Los Angeles Valley College and then Gymnastics Olympica, and I just watched him grow into this epic stuntman. I remember one of his earliest projects was Rush Hour 3, and then boom, 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 and then he's like doubling for all kinds of people in Marvel. I'm like, wow. So this is very exciting for me. I'm very, very happy that he's on this. He's also one of the co-owners of Jam. So if you guys are in Los Angeles and if you ever want a cool place to train at, flip at, go to Joining All Movements facility there.
We'll link it below.
Yeah, it's exactly. That's the easiest way to communicate. I'm like thinking of the logistics of how to like, yeah, we'll link it below.
Oh, dude.
I went full anime.
Yes.
Full anime.
Are you in this?
I am. Double Mr. Anthony Mackie. That's hard as shit.
Yeah.
I did kick a buddy in the face.
Hey guys, wait. We're back. Stuntmen React. We have a special guest today. Toney is with us today, guys. It's super exciting to have you here.
Thank you.
Just give us a little bit about what stuff you've been in.
I've got probably about 15 years in the business. I've worked on everything from Power Rangers to Pirates of the Caribbean.
So guys, we got a lot of awesome clips today. Let's just jump in.
What?
He's not hitting the police.
Oh yes.
Are you in this?
I am.
That move
Double
where he
Mr.
does
Anthony
the move
Mackie.
where he does the twisty thing. He invented that move.
We have good memories about this scene.
And we were killing people. We were just killing people.
That right
That
there.
move?
He made that move up.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I know.
Hey, it's Key.
Hey!
Oh, I got him.
Ooh,
Yeah.
sick. What is that, a jumping, spinning back kick?
That is a jump spinning back kick. Yes, sir.
It looks so good.
Hey.
Bah! That's awesome.
That's literally what it's
that
called.
was
It's a
fun.
jumping
We were on a
spinning
wire,
back kick.
and I had one placed in the front and the back. And the costume is not the lightest. It's made out of cordura. Cordura is a type of military spec fabric that does not tear. So a lot of the costumes is made out of that. The wings are CG, but I am wearing a rubberized backpack. When we did this, we did probably 3 solid takes, and he's being ratcheted. So it's me making
Ratcheting's
contact
pulling.
with him,
Right.
but as soon as I even just tap, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's really good timing between, you know, the performer and the stunt riggers. And we had some of the best in the business. That's Michael Huggins' crew. And I love working
That
with those
move
guys.
is
You guys
so
are amazing.
sick.
So
That's
in the
cool.
original sort of rehearsals, I kicked the guy in the face. I didn't kick this guy. But I did kick a buddy in the face, and every time I'm on set when I work with this group of guys, they always haze me about it. They're like, you remember that time you kicked so-and-so in the face? I'm like, yes, I remember. You remember that time I asked to have a taller guy?
What the hell is that? Everyone's got a gimmick now.
See ya.
That's him?
This was a scene that we all had to keep really hush-hush about. We were shooting probably 2 to 3 months, and there was murmurs, and everybody was like, don't say anything, you say nothing, 'cause, you know, we're not sure if it's gonna happen, but we got the word that we were getting Spider-Man, and we all knew it, and we couldn't say anything to anybody. That scene in particularly, when I went to go ahead and tackle, I tackled nothing. I literally, they were just like, hey, you're gonna go and you're just gonna make your arms and make sure that you don't close them, because you're gonna tackle them and then we're gonna take over. So that's exactly what we did for that scene. But we did have time there to run dialogue, sometimes set up for eye lines and such.
All right, sorry, my bad.
That was fun. That was fun? Painful. With this shot, we actually, you can't see it now, but there was a huge high dense mat that they set up for us. We were on wires that helped descend us into the actual floor.
How close did your head come to the escalator? Was it actually that close, or was it added later?
Clint, I'm glad you asked that question because I literally, like, we did it and it was on our last takes. My buddy came up to me and he was like, hey man, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah man, I'm good. Man, he looked at me like he was white. And he was like, I had a heart attack, I thought you hit your head. And I looked back and I was like, oh, I'm in it. This is all practical. So
Oh my God.
I almost clipped my head on the very last take. It's true, yeah.
Wow.
scene. Like I worked on this and I still go, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was months. And they built an actual tarmac. And that tarmac, we were shooting out there in summer.
Oh, that was
And
hot.
it was so hot. Poor Guy was in the Black Panther suit, and I remember coming up to him because he had his harness on, and he was cinched in, and I could just see him. He was like ready to pass out, and I was like, "Buddy, are you okay? You needed some water?" Oh man, we all knew about this scene too. Can I talk about bad CG?
Yeah.
What is going on with my legs? Every time I see that, he's like,
So that's a leg replacement.
It's not even me. That's not even me or Mackie. That is full CG Falcon until he's standing there. Whenever I did landings, I would always try to like think of parachute guys. Like they always tuck up and land. And I sometimes would get flack from people about, they're like, don't tuck up the legs. And so when I see that, I'm like, that's better? Wiggle his legs like that? You gotta get out of here.
This part where you get ratcheted straight back, how do you just not just smack your head on the ground?
The backpack helps. So as soon as I'm going, that backpack, I'm like, all right, I know I'm going. I'm gonna go ahead and assess. Typically, don't put your hands down, but I went so far, I was like, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and gauge. Okay, tap.
Yeah,
roll.
see? They
So
tap
I didn't
first.
smack my head. As soon as I hit the ground, I was like, okay, I'm good. And I just kind of rolled over my neck on my head softly on the grass. Weight is a factor with ratchets like this. So if you are wearing a costume that's a little top heavy, sometimes it's better to be picked a little bit lower or higher depending on how heavy your actual legs are. So for me, they're like, we're gonna pick you here. Now if I do that, I would have kind of went ass over tea kettle and smacked my head. Ooh. So that was a personal preference, and that's talking with your riggers about how do you want to ride this.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah,
Oh,
as
wow.
it should
Great.
be.
Guys, go ahead and subscribe because we got a lot of different React series in the works. We have construction workers react, orthodontists react, morticians react.
Okay,
We have monkeys
obviously
react to
this
Andy
is
Circus.
I was
Subscribe
for a
to
second I
all
thought it
the
was serious.
Yeah. I was like, what?
There's so much emotion in this fight scene.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
So I know both of the doubles who worked on this. You had Khalid Gajidi,
I don't know him.
and then you had Kofi.
I know Kofi.
Yeah.
Double
I know Kofi.
Michael on reshoots.
Kofi's
and
another one I
had
grew
to
up with.
Put the dots on.
Yeah.
It was probably like maybe 6 or 7 appliances.
Jesus
So I'm like, this
Christ.
man does this every day. But it's nice that they don't have to apply them like, just dot for dot. They literally had appliances that they put on.
Like a whole sheet that like.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. This fight is really, really cool though. It's just intense, It's not like a lot of flipping, it's more heart. The fight coordinator, Jonathan Eusebio, his team and himself, they used a lot of capoeira, which is a Brazilian martial
know him.
art. They used silat.
Silat.
There's traces of that in the fights as well. And this is a lot of the actors actually doing this, and these guys did an amazing job.
I'd agree. Like so many times when the actors do it, it looks so janky.
Yeah.
So janky, and like you actually have to put in the work to make it look good. And you can tell here that these guys did that.
Yeah. And both of them, Mike and Chadwick, are exceptional athletes. I remember working with Mike for reshoots, and he was really good about picking up choreography quick. I feel like there's actors out there that are really good, and when they understand the intent behind the movement, everything else is easy. I see a lot of stunt people that come in and they go and run through the fight, and they're okay. They're just kind of like, I just got to remember the moves. And then when you get an actor and they go, okay, well, what am I doing? Am I selling this? Am I hurt here already? Actors will go ahead and play up extra things that you didn't even think about. Maybe he's playing when he gets hit in the stomach, he's playing to a gunshot wound that he had. So he reacts to that a little longer before he goes back into the fight. That to me is a sign of a good performer, because those things, you're telling the story through the action. That's always important. And so I always hold to that when I do anything. You are a performer first. You're not just a stunt person. You are an actual stunt performer, I like to say.
Oh, this was when he subbed in for Latif.
I worked on this movie called Tom Yum Goon.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You worked on that?
I worked on that. I doubled Latif Crowder for
Yeah.
that fight.
Latif hurt himself.
Latif hurt his Achilles,
Yeah.
and so he couldn't finish the fight. So flew me in. I had to go and eat a bunch of food and gain weight. I still didn't get as big as Latif, but I finished that whole fight.
Oh, wow.
This is the capoeira fight scene. right?
Yeah.
You're freaking Eddie Gordo.
Look at the speed on my man. This is probably one of the best actual capoeira fights in history. And the way it's being used, like everything has function.
I bet the
purpose.
flip was
He
Aaron.
makes it look so easy.
That's hard as shit.
Yeah. He just makes it like it's like no big deal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce on my hands. That's easy. You show off. So right here, he does what's called a al batido switch. So good. Man, Lua.
Wow.
Oh!
Wow. So he was like pulling his Achilles, you said?
Yeah, he ruptured it when he back tucked and punch fronted. Apparently, he did a couple of them and he landed, but he was done after that. And then this is on me. You see how
That's you right there?
yeah. You see how skinny he got?
40 by 40,
The moment they swap out,
goddamn.
you just get your butt kicked.
Yeah, I'm just an ass whooping. Yeah. He hit me on that, but they used a different take. He literally 720 kicks me in the face, and he had a padded shoe on. And it was the first time that I had seen that. They took his Converse shoe and they put a big piece of just high dense foam on the bottom, and he went full send on his kick. And I just remember on one of them, I kind of blacked out for a second and came back. He was like, I'm going down. No, I'm okay.
It's interesting that they don't hold the slow motion for the full contact.
I don't know why they didn't. I don't know. It was weird. And like, I walked the walkout. It's the worst ending. I was like, ugh. It's the worst ending ever, but that fight is still boss. Toney tried his best, man.
So in doing full contact hits, he's not pulling it at all, or he has to a little bit? Like,
He has to a little bit,
There's
yeah.
got to be a little bit of an art to it, not just beating the crap out of your dudes.
Yeah.
Or is that just...
So there's two different ways to go ahead and stack a hit. Sometimes you're getting plowed through. It depends on where you're getting hit at. So say if you're taking a hit to like the chest, sometimes what they'll do is you'll either pad up or you won't pad up. And literally it's more of a direct sort of push through, as opposed to if I went like that, you feel that more. If I do that at full force, you're gonna feel that. But if I go like this and push, that's better. And that's something that's attributed to like when you train in like martial arts. So you train in martial arts, you learn how to go ahead and pull your power. So that's really important. And that's what, someone like Toney excels at.
If you guys have a cool action scene, or a fight scene, or a crazy stunt, doesn't even have to be from a movie, it can be from anything, please leave a suggestion down in the comment section below.
Yeah, this is mine. I directed this. It's called Throne.
Got some solid Wesley Snipes going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, so he doubled Captain America.
Who do you
Okay.
recognize?
Pepe.
Who do you recognize?
Oh, I know that guy.
Oh wait, I know him. Who? On the left.
Andy and Brian
Brian.
Lee. Malaya's in there.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of
Oh, there's a bunch of friends. Mark is in there. You trained with Mark.
I went full anime.
Dude, it's all the instead of the feet. That's so good.
Oh, sweet. Dude, that's rad.
I'm a huge Soul Calibur fan, so I was like, a buddy of mine was like, you should do sword trails, and I was like, you're right. so Chris Cowan shot that fight.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
That is a Chris Cowan shot, man. I was like, Cowan, put your sauce on it, bro. And he did it.
Dude, I love your choreography. It's awesome.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
If people wanted to go see that short film, where would they go to see it?
They would go to my YouTube page, Aaron Toney, and you can see that. You can see Primal, and I've done little viral things like the fight challenge.
You started that?
I did.
Wow. Dude, stuntman, fight choreographer, meme lord. Who would have thought?
Yeah, his last fight challenge was pretty epic.
Aaron, your insights were awesome. I love your attitude with how you approach stunts and like the art. Like your passion clearly shines through here.
I love this business.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. Like, I've watched you guys for years. You know what's funny? I'll have to admit this. I don't subscribe, but I watch all your stuff. I'm sorry. Okay? I will subscribe now. I'm an asshole.
one of them.
I'm one of them. He's like, he's watching everything, but he's not subscribing. What a jerk. I will now, okay? Damn it. I will.
Wanna play some Smash Bros?
Heck yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
was lovely. I love Aaron Toney. I've only met him once, but
You had no idea who you were hanging out with that whole night.
he was so. I sat next to him, and he was
I put ACHARA
so
and Aaron.
lovely.
I put ACHARA and Aaron next to each other when we went to watch.
What was it, Lion King? or-
It was either Lion King or the Will Smith movie.
I didn't see the Will Smith movie.
Okay,
I
it
think
was Lion King. Then. Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually bounced out of Lion King. I was really drunk, and I'm like, "You guys got this." I went to have dinner with the Real D3D people.
No, it was great. He's such a lovely guy. He's so passionate and he's so knowledgeable. Because I had a whole conversation with him about like his whole training regime, and he is extremely disciplined. Like every day he wakes up early and body conditioning and working out and practicing his martial arts and stuff. Like this guy's legit.
I mistook him for doing that Arabian flip in the middle of the fight scene that Latif was in, because that's one of the moves that I always watched him do as a kid. When I was 14, I think he was 17, and we were both at LAVC. Or I was 15, he was 18, something like that. We were both young. He would always do like a round off into this beautiful Arabian, like, and he can still flip, like, goodness God, like he can still flip beautifully. That was his move. He would go way up in the air and do an Arabian and then come out of it, do some more crazy stuff, and it was just graceful. That's one of the things about him that makes him special, is that he's not just built, but he's like really graceful when he moves. And he can also look powerful whenever he wants to. This is wild. It's wild to me. Like, life's a trip, man. I was watching Altered Carbon Season 2. Anthony Mackie is fighting in that show, and I'm like, that's not Anthony Mackie, that's Aaron Toney. I could totally tell it was Aaron Toney. Like, I'm watching, I'm like, that's gotta be Aaron. So then I texted him, I'm like, I caught you in Altered Carbon. He's like, oh yeah, what'd you think of the show? And so, like, when we went back and forth for a little bit, it was really funny. I can usually tell when I can see my friends. It's the weirdest thing, because you know their faces.
Yeah.
You know the back of their head.
And you know their movement.
And you know
as
their
well.
movement. Yeah, I know his movement pretty well, and so I can usually pick up when it's him. For some reason, I'm convinced he doubled Black Panther in one of the movies. Like, I think Captain America. When was Black Panther introduced? Was it Civil War?
Civil War, but it seemed like a lot of the stuff that they were pulling from Civil War, he was not.
He's not Black Panther.
He wasn't Black Panther.
I thought he was Black Panther for at least a little bit, but I guess he was just Anthony Mackie. Could have sworn, but anyway, doesn't matter. His body of work is huge. Like they said in the video, he's very passionate and he can go on for a while. And it seems like they really cut down a lot of what he said, and I wish they didn't. I love hearing his passion when he's talking and whatnot. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's so knowledgeable and he's like so kind with imparting his knowledge. Just being in his presence, it feels like you're talking to someone who's like a really good teacher as well.
I never saw that short film that he made. I'm gonna watch that. I'll do a reaction to that if he's. I'll ask him. I'll text him and ask him permission to do a reaction to it. I very much enjoyed this. I don't know what to add to this. Everything he was saying was on point. It's just fun, I guess, hearing like all the behind the scenes stuff of the Marvel stuff. Like whenever you talk to any of these stunt guys, you get inside information that most people don't know.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating stuff. And he was very forthright with a lot of his feelings about his experiences on the Marvel films. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that was left on the floor, for reasons, but it was still cool to get that sort of insight that you normally don't get. Blu-rays behind the scenes now, it's all just like, just cut down to this thing.
Yeah.
And you often don't get this kind of information. You're often hearing from the visual effects people, from, the Russo brothers. You're hearing from like these people who you think are the only ones that you should be paying attention to. But meanwhile, the stunt guys actually have a lot of information regarding the action because they're crafting it.
Yeah.
That is very much worthwhile and is really fun to hear about. You have a general idea as to how visual effects works, and it's different each time, but like fight choreography, being on the ground floor with that, being on the ground floor with the action and the ratcheting and all that stuff and where shit goes wrong, like those are very fascinating stories.
Yeah.
And I don't know why there isn't more behind the scenes stuff dedicated to that. I feel like on the likes of John Wick, you'll find that more. On the Marvel DVDs, I don't recall seeing too much of that because I feel like I would be calling out, like I would be texting my friends more every time I see that stuff, like in the DVD menus and stuff like that.
I think my biggest takeaway was when he made the distinction between when stuntmen come in and they learn some choreography, and then when they get the actors to do it, and like how that's different, and how actually they're not just stuntmen and stunt women, but they're stunt performers. And it made me think of our friend Megan Leigh, who always likes to be referred to as a stunt actress, or like an actress who can do stunts, because there's so much, like he said, which is the story informs the movement, and the movement is pushing the story forward. And when you get that married together perfectly, it just makes for really great viewing, like really great action.
Yeah, what he was talking about was actually my huge issue with Harley Quinn, the Fantabulous, whatever, Birds of Prey.
Emancipation.
Yeah, that movie. Like, if you watch the fight scenes in there, it lacks acting in the fight scenes. beats.
Right.
That was my big problem with it. It was literally just movement. What he's talking about, like that was a fundamental issue I had with that movie. Like the choreography is beautiful.
It was great choreography.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool what they were doing. It looked fantastic. But yeah,
fantabulous.
fantabulous.
Yeah.
There was like no emotion really
Exactly.
in it, which is important.
But Aaron recognizes that, and like whenever he's doing fight scenes, like he has all that present.
Yeah.
So Lateef, I saw him so many times at 24 Hour Fitness in Sherman Oaks. So many times. And I was always afraid to talk to him because he's got RBF,
Like you?
Like me. And so I'm thinking he's a jerk. And then I hear he's super nice. So I'm like, okay, let me give it a shot. And I went up and talked to him, and he was like the nicest guy ever. I'm like, okay, cool. And like now I know him. And I was also seeing him at Gymnastics Olympica sometimes, like one of the nicest guys in the world. And this whole time, like I was avoiding him because I thought he was like angry about something. It's actually surprising. I mean, not now with the lockdown, but it's surprising how many stunt people train at that 24 Hour Fitness in Sherman Oaks. Probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, that's out there now. So you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that. And make sure to check out Aaron's YouTube channel. I'm gonna talk to him and see if he's cool with me reacting to stuff, and then I'll put out reactions on this channel with,
yeah.
stuff.
And then obviously follow Corridor Crew
Yes,
as well.
Exactly.
You know what to do.
Yep.
And then follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah.